You are tuned into Backstage Nonsense. This podcast is brought to you by Sunheri Yade and Behki Baate. Check out our upcoming show, A Cassette in My Walkman, on 6th of May, 6:30 p.m. at Dorothy Winston Center.
Hello and welcome to Backstage Nonsense. This is a show where we take you backstage, show you all the nonsense that happens backstage. This is me, Rusbe.
And this is me, Ritika. And today we have a very special person on our podcast. And let's welcome Ram.
Hi, Kritika. Hi, Rusbe.
Hello.
Welcome. Glad to be here. Bit nervous.
Yeah.
I've been put on the spot, like just given under 24 hours to show up.
That's true.
Especially after a long flight back from California.
But I think
it's
that fits in your area, like, event management. You've been into event management, event organizing, and it's such a field where it's dynamic. You have to be like, on the go, changes.
always on the go.
Yeah. What we want to understand is where this all began from. How did you actually get into events? Because it's such a thankless job, I would say, for a lot of times.
Thankless. Yeah. Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know. But you get a lot of accolades. You get big badge as well. Because the big badge is what keeps me going.
Right.
Been 20 years, Ritika corrected
Yes.
me saying it's been 20 years. So it's been a long journey. It started like 3-4 friends of us went to an event in, I think, Avondale Theatre.
Mhm.
All 4 of us were music buffs. We made sure that we entered every venue those days, like shows used to be limited. And then we came back home, we were having a drink, and then all of us said, oh, why don't we start an event management
So
thing?
was that an Indian show or?
Yeah, Indian show.
Indian show.
Basically, those days there were only Indian shows
Okay.
happening. Yeah, and then so happened we all jumped in, worked together, did few shows, and then the others decided it was not their forte. I got clung on to it, and I've not left it. So it's the same similar way. 22 years back, I came into New Zealand, and till date I've not gone back. When I say not gone back, is my visas got into permanent visas and
Yeah.
like that,
Yeah.
So I came in as a visitor, got everything done the right way. I don't want people think like I've been overstayed.
You're not just a permanent in events, in New Zealand, but you're a permanent with events now. When we talk about, event organizing, the first name that comes into people's mind is CFI Events.
Yeah, I would say, and also I would give due credit if I have to say, like just as we had Shreya Ghoshal, she completed 20 years in Bollywood. For me, I've completed 20 years in New Zealand with CFI Events, and Shreya has been instrumental in that because 2010 till 2010 I was doing local
Yeah.
shows.
Right.
I've been told not to address you people as local. So I've been doing shows in Auckland.
Okay.
Let's put it that way.
In-house
and-
talent.
Yes,
In-house
absolutely.
talent.
And there is
Yeah,
abundance
that's
of
better.
that. That
Yes.
is
Yeah.
so much talent.
Yeah.
Sometimes I sit and wonder, do we still have to get... But then you look at the commercials. That is where
Yes.
the banks look at us.
Yeah.
But just coming back, so Shreya has been instrumental. So from 2010 is when CFI shot into fame. So
Right.
I've not looked back. Today I'm taking pride in calling myself as New Zealand's premier event management company.
But, because they say when you get a celebrity from India or from any other place, it comes with a lot of other... baggage is not the right word, but it comes with a lot of other ifs and buts.
All right, there's plenty because there are too many things going
Yeah.
into a show making.
Yeah.
It's not only getting... First, you need to get the right artist.
Race.
You
Yes.
know, because the artist plays a very key role. You don't want to struggle because there are so much commercials involved.
Agreed.
Yes.
So you need something which is a smooth going, and also not every artist will be the same. There are going to be hiccups.
Yeah.
People will be drawn, some may not be drawn, because people have now got a lot of choices.
Yep.
We spoiled people with choices.
Yep.
And I'm not surprised, or I'm not feeling bad that so many events are happening also, because that is one way it is good, because people do get a choice and we could get an option to choose where I wish to be on a particular day.
Yeah.
See, end of the day, as is always, customer is the king. Our industry, it works a bit differently.
Yeah.
The customer is giving you, say, 3 hours of their time. And that's the lesson which I learned on my first day of my event. So I did and this has stuck to me, it's stuck to my life. It's becoming my mantra. And that's why every event, if you see, when I put a 7 p.m. start time, it better be 7 p.m. Otherwise, it's not a show managed by me.
Right.
Yeah.
And I tell my promoters as well, it's either that time or, sorry, then I'm out of it. Technical difficulties can happen, which is beyond anybody's control.
Correct.
Yeah. So those days are fine, but otherwise there is no excuses. Like it is raining outside, parking issues. Sorry, too bad.
Yeah.
And that's why people say this guy is the rudest guy in England.
We'll get to that. We'll get to
that.
Actually.
I have, known Ram since 2003.
Yeah, it looks like it's so difficult for you to call him Ram.
Yeah, I can't, because I'm so used to addressing him as Ram Uncle. And I think I'm going to go back to doing that because I just can't do it, right? But I've done a few events that he's managed, and I can absolutely vouch for it that when he says 7 p.m., whether the auditorium's full or there's one person, we used to kickstart.
Yeah,
at that
just
point.
to add on to that, my first lesson which I was talking about, gentlemen, I don't want to take names here, and that was my inaugural show. Okay, it was 7 p.m. start, and there were about handful of people only.
In-house talent?
Yeah.
Okay.
These are the early days, I'm
Yeah.
saying. And I waited for people to come in.
Right.
And I started the show 30 minutes late.
Mm-hmm.
And I got ripped after that. By that person
Right.
who wrote a newspaper. He said, "You know what you have done?" I said, "Yeah, tell me, please." He said, "You waited 30 minutes for those people who did not value time and who were not here on time.
Yep.
But you did not value those 30 minutes for those people who were there in the venue for you."
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's lesson, though it was very, very hurting that day,
Yeah.
but I took it on me. And from that day till today, I've never missed a time.
That's
Yeah, I
true.
can so relate to that because there's this one small event that we'd organized, and similar, we had put in a time, Indian Standard Time. I had put a buffer. I was supposed to start at 8, but I said 7 start coming in and we'll start by 8. But people who came in all at 7, they were so upset to wait until 8, and that's where...
No, that is the most,
Yeah.
ridiculous thing to happen. Like,
Yeah.
you can't keep people waiting.
Yeah.
For and I see in many shows, like without naming anybody,
Yeah.
I feel so disgusted there sitting because we are waiting for somebody who is not organized his time perfectly.
Correct.
Give you an instance, Shreya Ghoshal show, we had said the show was going to start at 8 because it was a Friday. We expected everyone go home, come back and reach in time.
Yep.
Parking at the center
Yeah,
is always
yeah,
in drama,
yeah.
but
Yep.
people have to get reorganized. They organize
True.
themselves better.
Yes.
And there was a huge line. I jumped in outside to scan tickets. And that's one thing I don't sit, thinking I'm an event manager and then my team has to run around. I just pick up whatever is to be done.
Yep.
If I have to pick up some dirt lying on the floor there, I just do it. I don't wait for somebody
and
else
I have
to do
seen
it.
that too. I've seen that with Ram Uncle too.
So I go in to scan tickets, and then this gentleman says, "Oh, you guys need to be better organized." I said, "You telling me better organized? Look at the time. You are here at 8 p.m.
Yeah.
The show starts at 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Be considerate with us.
Yeah.
Really. As much as we
Yeah.
are trying to help you. That's why the fourth line or the fourth
But it
person
started
is-
sharp at 8.
Absolutely.
Shreya was
That-
out there
Yeah,
at
that's
8, and we were
all.
shocked. Because to be honest, I've attended a lot of other shows, and even in India, it never starts on time as such. And over here, I was like, I just went out, came back in, and I was, oh, Shreya's already there. It's like literally 8:01. I was like, wow.
Yeah. Speaking of Shreya, you mentioned that your first international concert was with Shreya
2010,
Ghoshal in
yeah.
2010. What was your experience, or your frame of mind going from a local,
In-house.
in-house concerts to jumping to such a big international concert?
That day, that time, no clue. I didn't know what's going to hit me, but I just jumped in,
Right.
It was just like packing a bag and coming to New Zealand. Let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then we were given a full sheet. At least now, if I look at it today, it is much more organized.
Right.
Okay. Those days you just get randomly things I want this thing, and 20,000 times it will used to change.
Right.
Yeah.
No? Today it is much organized because I think every artist has got their own event manager
crew.
in place.
Yep.
So before we get what their requirements are, from flights to food to hotels to what they want to eat, where they will eat, what they will wear, whether they need a hairdresser, whether they need it's so many things.
Yeah.
Now, when I say hairdresser, this is including a male artist. They want to get their hair done or whatever. So everything, you get put on the spot. Suddenly they'll say, "Oh, I need this," and then you're running. And then we always tell them, "This is not India. Whatever you need to tell us before, because Saturday and Sunday
Things
this
are closed.
country is closed."
Country is closed.
So if you need something, you need to tell us before.
Yeah.
Don't give surprises because
Yeah, because 2020 or 22 is different.
Different.
But 2010, I can imagine what would have.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. But
Going back to, you've just listed you hairdressers and food and restaurants, flights, etc. That's a lot to do
plenty.
for an event
This is just
person. Snippet. Just scratching the surface.
Yeah.
How big is your event team then?
Well, I don't have an event team. It's
You
one
must
man
be
show.
collecting a group of people.
Well,
by-
I've got good friends who this thing. Two of my great assets are Ashish and Ravi.
Yeah.
They chip in all the time and they take all my burden. They leave the planning to me.
Yeah.
All the execution is done by them.
Wow.
So and these days or last few years, it's been much easier. Earlier years, my formative years were very tough for these guys also, because 48 hours prior to the show, nobody will speak to me.
Okay.
Because I'm in a totally different zone, and it was more like a time bomb ticking.
Right.
And I don't like dumb questions being asked.
Okay.
When I say dumb questions, we've gone through the routine,
Yes.
so we got a set of things of do's.
Yeah.
you know. So all the do's are passed on to the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then if somebody I'm not saying Ravi or Ashish will come, but there will be somebody else who's heard a
Something,
bit, who is
yeah.
and then they'll come to me. And that's it. That was enough for me to explode.
So I want to ask you this now, because you spoke about Rudest and the tag that you've got. How is it possible for you, because you've done this events for 20 years, and you say you are one-man army, but you have support from other people as well. But definitely, to go on for so long, you surely need your set of people with you, your team, basically, that works together for events.
As I said, we three are the
whole and
The
soul
team.
team.
right.
Yeah.
Even for 3 people, how do you then, because let's say you're rude to your someone during that 48 hours.
Those two guys are seasoned too. They are accustomed. But they know for a fact that, this fellow only barks, doesn't bite.
Okay. Yeah.
But no, they're good. See, that is why those who can absorb me, can have stuck around with me, and
Right.
that's been my key. Some say this guy is more like a coconut, hard on from the out, soft from inside. Probably, I don't know, but there have been so many names. Just when we kicked off, we were talking about event management. I've been also told by people, again, my contemporaries, they say, what does Ram do? What event management does he do? He does makes few phone calls, and that's about it. So
As long as those work.
and those guys says think and say that event management is much more easier. And there's same events when I go, when they organize, I feel ashamed to be part of the industry then. You know, it's shambles. Like it's really like, you know, basics. It's the basics which you need to take care of. Like, you know, when people work with me, like her mother, Sandhya ji, we worked quite a lot. And I have taken a tip or two from Sandhya ji. The first thing what she taught me also, I must say, I have taken some lessons from her, is like, you're a performing artist, you need to make sure that they are taken care of.
Yeah.
Right.
You know? So that everyone works here. Like, you know, some is an accountant, some is a project manager, somebody is working in a law firm, like I'm a business analyst. Like, you know, we all come from different walks of life.
Yeah.
We have our own targets and
Yes.
own thing to be between that 9 to 5 what we do.
Yeah.
And then when we come home, then we have to look into, you know, the rehearsals, playing the right chords and this thing.
Yes.
And then we come there, and then you don't get a glass of water when you come
Yeah.
for a rehearsal.
Yeah.
That hurts.
Yes.
You know, because it's not the question of we getting paid. Payment is only these days now.
That's right.
Payment
Yeah.
was never before.
That is right.
It was all
Yes.
passion.
It was, yeah.
And those days also it is incorrect not to offer some food or water or anything. But I make with a point, and that's why I said I'm not this thing. I'm not saying this because Sandhya ji is around, but that's one thing which I've learned from her, and that's what I make sure in my rehearsal. Because the rehearsal sometimes, though as much as you say 11 to 2, it's never 11 to 2. You know, there is a pre-setup, there is a post,
Yes.
and sometimes things don't go that cut to cut.
Right.
Yes.
And that is because we are having artists who have a day job.
Day job.
They
Yeah.
have a family. You know, they have to adjust that, because that adjustment is more difficult than this adjustment.
Yes. Yes.
Then they come here, you know, and imagine then they come here and I'm barking at them like, why the hell you're not coming prepared? You know?
Yeah.
Though, if they come to me, I have a reason to ask, like, why you've not come
Yes.
prepared? Because, see, every coin has two sides, right?
too.
So just as I've approached you as a musician or a singer or whatever whatever role you're playing, and you have committed, and I've told you I need 3 or 4 or 5 rehearsals, and then we sit and talk, right? Ramji, 3 rehearsals, can we? Or I'll come for 3, I won't come for this one. So then we work out. You know? But once you have given me that time,
That's an agreement.
and
That's
I've
an
given you a list, then it is your duty. Then don't come and tell me on the day कि नहीं वो कल party था तो मैं then I've got the right to
Yeah.
Yeah.
start
Fair
show my
enough.
rudeness.
Yeah.
You're thinking about so much, Ram Uncle, you know, from rehearsals to how do we treat people on humanitarian grounds and your event, and you're thinking about an artist and sponsors and all sorts of things. Your mind is constantly working. So what do you do to make sure that, you know, your stress levels are low, or for your own mental health? Like what do you do?
Well, I don't do much.
ये सब नया concept है.
I know. See, like back in the days, we never heard the word of stress and all
Exactly.
that. You know,
Yeah.
like, but no. Other day, like, I was at a I don't know, a child's naming or something, like, you know, and then I met this girl and she said, "Oh, I heard, Uncle, you're managing this wedding." I said, "Yeah." I was very casual about it. You know, wedding.
Wedding.
So she said, "How you like, you know, so this thing?" I said, "Well, it's kind of a template now. You know, these are the 10 things to be done.
Yeah.
You talk to your contractor, tell them these things.
Yeah.
On the day I go there, I give everyone their time, that this time this needs to be ready and this thing. I go and have a look and everything is ready, and I come back home refreshed, and then I'm ready to receive the guest." Like, so, saying, "But are you making it sound very simple? Like anybody will want to do this."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, if somebody has got a passion and a thought process, because it involves a good thought process. See, this is something which you cannot copy and do.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you can possibly follow,
Yeah.
understand,
Yeah.
but to incorporate, you need to do a lot of application. You need to apply a mind.
Also, you need the right attitude.
Absolutely.
Because and that's where I want to get to. So there might have been instances where you've planned for something, but then something else has happened.
No, one instance which I remember is, I think that was my 25th show, I think. I think it is, yes, it was my 25th show. And I had invited Sumitra Iyer. Those days,
Yeah,
she was a big name,
Yes.
like in a Bollywood, thanks to Indian Idol or something.
Yeah.
And the musicians had come down from, Pune, and then there were our Auckland's musicians and all that. So all the ensemble was there. And the lady sends a message, said she's not coming because some sickness was happening then.
Okay.
And that was it. I've sold about 500-600 tickets already.
And she's not coming
she's
from
not
India over here.
She's not performing.
Okay. Wow.
And what she gave me was one of the lame excuses, because I found out that it wasn't the case. She just did not want to travel.
Right.
But as the great showman has said, the show must go on.
Yeah.
So our artist here chipped in, namely Arpita, and we had an artist come down from India also, like who was the musician's wife, Manju. So they both chipped in, and like we pulled off the show. There was, but that was one moment where you felt, cheated kind of thing, like, and
But I think that's where you require that skill, right? Like, okay, this has happened. How do I turn this around?
Yeah.
Or how do I, how the show must go on? Because it's very easy to say the show must go on, but actually implementing that.
yeah, like, see, that is because I could match the performer with the performer,
Yeah.
and then that made me think, like, why did I even wait for this person
Yeah.
to perform
Yeah.
when these two did exactly the same,
Yeah.
or probably better,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, sometimes you bite the bullet like that, right?
Yeah.
So do you always plan for plan B in case plan A fails?
Great question.
See, on the international shows, you can't plan for plan B.
Yeah.
It just happens. No? But I think God has been kind to me. Nothing adverse has happened, though I had a very, very close shave with Jagjit Singh's last concert.
Okay. Do you want to tell more about
No.
He doesn't want to get into that.
No, that was really a nightmare, and it was a matter of life and death for many of us that day.
Wow. Wow.
So, yeah. So,
Just going back into musical concerts, what were you, like? Were you always, like, when growing up, were you always inclined towards music? What was it? How did you get into?
no, well, I love music. I wouldn't say I did not like music, but today also, if somebody gives me some instrument to play, I'll just look at it.
Just look
So
at
I
it.
don't. Okay, it's not right for me to say I don't sing. I do sing, but I don't have the courage to hold the mic and sing. Okay, let's put
Today,
it that
there's
way.
no need to hold the mic.
But I always had a ear for music. So if somebody is off that meter or whatever, then it hurts.
Yeah.
you know. So I'd been more passionate about it.
Right.
And then once I got into it, few years, it did take me a while to understand what was happening. But more since I was just doing the admin part and left the music part to the experts who
Experts,
are.
yeah.
And everyone who have worked with me knew their role, like, why he or she has been selected or been part. So they don't give me that stress.
Yeah.
Everyone comes prepared. They get all the lists done.
Yeah.
And in fact, from the local, from the in-house production, it's been an easy drive.
Right.
I have never had any dramas. So today, if I have to just say, like, I'm planning this event, I'm sure 10 of them will say, I want to be part, I want to be
Yeah,
part.
yeah,
So that's
yeah.
kind of a image, or like, whether they're willingly coming or they're like, scared and then coming, I don't know. But I think genuinely they want to be part of my events.
I am one of them. Like, can I help?
So that's basically I'd like to make it very, very
Yeah.
easy. International shows, you don't have much a say, right? Because the orders come from the event teams and this
Yeah.
thing. So
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
given
Just follow
20
that.
things, you just follow them.
that.
If you don't follow, then is a drama, because
Yeah.
then they show tantrums and all
Yeah.
that. And but today has also made it different. Like you get because of technology increase, you do a Zoom call, you do a WhatsApp call. So we do a call with our production team here, like the guy who supplies the sound, lights and this thing. Make them talk to the venue, or we go to the venue and take a video and so everything is like becomes so close by now. It's not,
Yeah.
there's no more distance.
Yeah.
So all that gets covered. But yes, you still have that sword hanging kind of thing. You don't know what the artist wakes up in the morning and says.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
There have been
True.
few artists who have been always causing issues, like, Other thing what I don't like to do, I don't stay in the same hotel as the artist is. Because sometimes it's a bane than a boon. And I was talking to my colleagues yesterday. I said, one of the shows where we have got this meet and greet and all, there's a lot of inquiries coming. And I'm thinking, like, why would somebody pay so much? I know I'm going to put a foot in my this thing. But probably it's how people think.
Yeah.
For me, an artist is kind of, okay,
They're doing the job.
They're doing their job, yeah.
just
yeah.
as I'm doing my job, like,
Yeah.
So why that? Well, probably that's what
But,
India is like, like we make
Yeah.
them the god figures and
Yeah.
worship them.
And that's why there is so much demand for such
Correct.
shows, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
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 So, talking about the New Zealand scene, you've been around for 20 years in the scene. How do you see the scene has moved, and where do you see it go from here?
See, in terms of production, it has changed. Like even in-house productions now has done a full 360. Now we meet the same standards of what a Bollywood event.
Wow.
In terms
That's
of
big.
lighting, sound,
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
Okay? So we don't compromise. Okay, if you have a decent budget, then we try to match that.
Yeah.
And I've seen a couple of gigs which, like, there's a wow factor.
Yeah.
And you get the same, if not better, response and
Experience.
experience. When you go there, you see beautiful lights, you see a full ensemble of musicians.
Yeah.
It like like what's happened here? That's what we require.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we also do smaller events where there is a good comfort. It gives you a relaxed, nice,
More intimate.
this
Yeah.
thing. And then there are events which happen, but just because events has to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have to weigh yourself which
Yeah.
category you wish to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do remember in earlier days, I used to be told by people, like, or rather I've heard people saying, like, oh, Ram ka kya hai? Like Dorothy, 700 seats, $20 a head, he's made $14,000. That was a kind of mindset. People did not think how much goes into.
Yes.
Dorothy Winston is not my father's property,
Yeah.
where I can
Yeah.
just get it for free.
Yeah.
It,
And plus over here, like sound engineering, like
everything like
is a big cost.
Everything is a cost,
It's-
yeah.
Today has gone up. Those days it was about $40 an hour or $30 an
Right.
hour,
Yeah.
and you had to pay those money up front.
Yeah.
So it is not that easy as people used to, come with a calculator, do the maths for me, and
Yeah.
show you made so much. Say thank you very much. Good, I've got a free accountant now in place.
Yeah. So I know we've gone way over time, but I think I'm really enjoying and I want to dig deeper. How do you deal with sponsors?
It's a challenge, but as I said,
Like with your personality, because you're like straight up, right?
yeah, see, it's better to shoot straight, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
Then
yeah.
mix
Of course. Yeah.
words.
Yeah.
I don't know. I probably not my personality. I don't sugarcoat.
Yeah.
I might be in the country for 23 years. I still don't sugarcoat. I don't know that part, and that's why I'm diabetic.
So when you go to buy a coffee, you don't do the small chat.
No,
Hey,
I
how are you
don't
doing?
do
How's your
that,
day
yeah.
going?
No.
Beautiful day outside. You don't do
Just like
that.
one coffee, please.
Yeah. Just keep it simple. See, that person has got to also a job. There are 10 more people behind me, right?
Yeah.
And it is annoying. And I experience that as well. So, you talking family stories out there, then there's 10 people behind you.
Yeah.
You exchange a pleasantry, say, hey, how is it going? Take your coffee, walk out, fine. My kid is growing,
The kid is growing.
you don't know how to do all that. So,
So you can clearly tell that, he's got a good sense of humor.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just taking a, slight turn to a little lighter note. I remember for rehearsals when Ram Uncle and my dad used to sit watching us. If anyone went out of pitch or out of tune, you could just see both their faces change at the same time. It's just like... And you knew at that point, that किसी ने तो गड़बड़ किया आज. किसको देख रहे हैं ये लोग?
because there are those days, and now the trend has changed because now we are mixing old with new, and
Yeah.
you got 22, 23, 21 ka song. Those days it was more like the old is gold,
yeah,
ones.
yeah.
And those are the songs which we have grown up listening to.
Mm.
And you don't want to tweak with those songs
Yeah.
because that is a
Classic.
crime.
Crime, yes.
You don't touch good things,
Yeah.
Like I've got a show which is called Jam Lounge. I've done 2 seasons. I'm going to do the 3rd season.
Okay.
So Jam Lounge is something on the lines of Coke Studio and MTV Unplugged.
Right.
Okay. So what we do there is we take the song, we keep the essence of the song. We don't do a lot of changes there,
Variations,
but
yeah.
we present it with a new thing.
Nice.
Right.
So it's just giving, and it's not a remix.
Hmm.
Okay, let me be very honest.
Yeah.
It's not a remix. We do have elements of that originality there,
Yeah.
but we have padded up with something.
Like it's a mashup
more.
kind of a thing.
Kind of, but mashup again. You have the doong tak,
Yeah.
doong tak, and
Yeah,
all that.
yeah.
So we try to keep it simple.
Yeah.
But at the same time, because I'm doing some parts from the old,
Hmm.
I know my audience will be there,
Hmm.
and they know the song by heart, even the beat and the
Yeah.
Yep.
thing.
Music
where,
pieces and everything.
Where it needs to change, where the rhythm pattern changes, where the singer has to come in. If that singer doesn't come in there, then my audience knows.
Yeah.
There are
No,
lots of judges in the
You're
audience.
noticing the audience is changing over time.
Oh, absolutely.
What are you doing to adapt to that?
That is the thing, no? That is why, because earlier I was part of this
Hmm.
structure. That is why I'm now changed to Jam Lounge thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like ghazals, nobody was doing till Sandhya ji jumped in, and then I jumped in. So it's only we both are now, because it's one niche.
Niche market. Yeah.
So we are trying to keep the niche good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
We are not doing the one which is for everyone.
Yeah.
No. At the same time, I'm not saying I won't be part of the everyone thing, because commercially I need to also, as much as my 9 to 5 job supports me,
Yeah.
is enough. But still, like when I'm taking time off from my family,
Yeah.
and the family is being too very supportive.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there should be some this thing. At the end of the day, why am I doing this?
Correct.
But passion is one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But how much can passion? I
Take
can't
over.
go with a bag
Yeah.
full of passion to a coffee shop and say, "Give me." So so it's but my contemporaries feel it the other way. They think it's too easy to manage events. So much so, somebody said, "Oh, now he started managing events from overseas, and all the money is going out." But they don't realize I'm paying GST here.
Yeah. So the question around the overseas is, I always wondered. So the musician crew, is that coming all from overseas in your overseas shows, or do you have anyone in-house talent also performing?
No, see, generally, if we are getting an artist of Shreya Ghoshal or anybody, then they come with their own
Own
group.
group.
Then
Yeah.
you're not allowed to. You can add a dance or something, but you have to get clearances from before, and it's a pain.
Yeah.
And that's why when I'm doing Bollywood events, I don't put any in-house thing.
Right.
Yeah. That's a fair
And two reasons for that. Like, if I'm paying $100 to Shreya Ghoshal event, I might as well enjoy that Shreya Ghoshal event instead of having half an hour of, because for an in-house event anyway I'm going, right?
Yeah.
call. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So why in this show I should be?
Yeah.
I thought it's me. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My view is like you keep international shows to international artists
Yeah.
because you have paid them. You have charged your audience accordingly.
Yeah.
So give
You've
them
sold their name, so
Yeah.
they have
Yeah.
to
give them the full value of the money.
Yeah.
I would rather hear 2 more songs from that artist than do 2
Yeah.
of my
Yeah.
acts. Even in the New Zealand in-house shows which I'm doing, I am not encore in favor of encores.
Right.
The reason being, like, that 5 minutes or 3 minutes or whatever the performer, I'll give one more song.
One more song. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's
True.
It's a better, because my team is prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm going to come there with only 20 songs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is encore?
It's the one small thing
One
when
small
people,
Oh, right.
you like a segment
Yeah.
or one piece, and then
You don't
people-
want that.
Well, not that for the artist it is a dream come true.
Yeah, because I remember this for Shreya Ghoshal show. There was this Kinjal who was a male performer.
Yeah.
He came after the break. He sang a song, and audience was blown away. They were
Yeah.
just like.
Yeah, he got a standing
He
ovation.
got a standing ovation. Everyone was saying once more, once more. He said, no, I can't do that. And he was going, but Shreya came and like, no, Kinjal, come on, go for it. And he did it again.
Wow.
Like goosebumps still.
Yeah.
Like, he was
Yeah.
amazing.
No, see, those are special and rare moments,
Yeah.
like, but generally, like,
Yeah.
here the trend is like some singer hits a note, like, and then but every singer does that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So imagine in the evening if I have to do 8 encore.
Yeah. Show's not going to end.
Yeah.
Speaking of shows, what are your upcoming events, Ram
Oh, there
Uncle?
are too many. So the first one is on the 4th of March. I'm doing Tarannum, which is the second part of my Ghazal series.
Uh-huh.
That's at the Green Bay Auditorium.
Yep.
Starts at 6:15. I've got an early start because next day I'm doing the Auckland Round the Base.
Oh,
Nice.
Wow. Okay.
10th,
That's an in-house show.
That's an in-house show. 10th and 12th of March, we have invited Amit Tandon for a stand-up comedy.
You're doing stand-up comedy also?
Cool.
Okay.
That's called Masala Sandwich. We're doing 10th March at Wellington
Yeah.
Right.
and 12th March at Dorothy Winston.
Nice.
And then, of course, probably the mega event of
The man
New
himself.
Zealand. On that note, I'm very, very glad and happy to announce that we have sold 50% of our seats.
Nice.
Very nice. So this
that's
is for
Arijit Singh.
Arijit Singh.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
and there are couple of more as time progresses.
Yeah.
But there are some big names coming.
Nice. How exciting.
This 2023 is like, after that lull of
Yeah.
2-3 years.
Yeah.
At least, see, New Zealand is kind of balanced in terms of overseas or Bollywood events, unlike Australia. I'm not criticizing, but I think Australia has got now an overdose of Bollywood events. Every weekend there are at least 1 or 2 happening there.
Yeah. And there's a lot of stand-up comics also that are going there.
yeah.
And there's a lot of
Probably,
things.
see, that is the change which I was earlier mentioning about.
Yeah.
So as much as music is good because you get connected and this thing, it's not like, you have your entire day for you. Evening, just go for a 90-minute thing.
Yeah.
Have a laugh
Yeah.
and this thing. Again, there are people who are commenting who think differently, like, because stand-up comedies have now become to 2 parts. There is an adult content, and then there is a family content, and then there is a comedy thing. So probably 3
There's
parts.
slapstick comedy and then there's
Yeah.
intelligent
So,
comedy.
What works, it sells,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
Just one final question, and we're way over, but one final question. How do you take
you
feedback?
chose the wrong person.
No, I think this has been very interesting.
Yeah.
So insightful.
How do you take feedback?
Feedback is always wanted, right? Because I've been telling my friends, like, possibly I'm going to do a stand-up as well, because I get so much of them. Like, so much in the sense, not feedback, fine, but there are these questions which come up also, like, during the course, like, because an event, say this Arijit event, which started from November and will finish in April, because of the size of the thing. Normally, I'd run a project for 3 months. But in the 3 months from start to finish, I get so many phone calls, messages, emails. Like, some are good, some are rude,
Yeah.
some are... but you have to, end of the day, I'm in the service industry, right?
Yeah.
I'm servicing people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As much as I want to
Be yourself. You
say,
can't.
I can't.
Yeah.
Though at times when the water goes over the bridge, it does happen. But it's been a good, fruitful journey. The learning is more. The learning is still not stopped. As much as I say, 20 years I've been doing this. After every show, I make a note too of what could have been done better, or what could have been avoided.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Or what was done well.
Well, you don't know, because then you become complacent.
Yeah.
You don't want to sit on that.
Okay.
Yeah? It's better to look at what has not been achieved or not has been achieved properly.
Right.
Because you, just as in, I think, schools, you have, what is that?
Grading. Yeah.
Achievement and merit.
Yeah,
and whatever.
excellence. Yeah,
So
yeah.
you don't want to be on the merit always. You need to be like,
Okay.
can achieve, like
Yeah,
one of
can
the
do
things.
better.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was my report card remark
Yeah,
always.
exactly.
Can do better.
Yeah, so that's what I always take. But it's been good, probably more than an hour. Probably I've been yakking myself out.
Yeah.
But no, I think so. I've learned a lot, enjoyed myself. How's the experience for you?
That's what I'm saying. This has been a wonderful. This is my first
great.
journey.
Okay.
So I didn't even know I could talk so much, because I never go on stage.
Yeah.
Wrong statement. 2 steps back. I go on stage just to thank my team and my sponsors.
Yeah.
Generally, you will find me, as I said, I could be as we started the show, Chaitanya, your team guy said, I'm a good parking warden. I can take people to their seats. I'm a good torchman. I make sure, the artists are taken care of, from the glass of water to food or whatever. And because, as I said, that's part of me, my upbringing, my culture and all that. And possibly, I'm a good showman.
Yeah, and
Wow.
that's what I think has inspired a lot of us, and a lot of events since have bloomed in Auckland and New Zealand itself. Like I've seen a lot of shows now just don't happen in Auckland, but they also happen in Christchurch, Wellington.
And Wellington,
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
different places, so-
That's one area which I have not. Wellington I've been with a couple of shows because, as I said, I do plays.
Yeah.
Gujarati
plays also.
Yeah, Gujarati plays and Hindi plays and music, stand up, Bollywood.
Nice.
You're there everywhere.
He's ventured into everything,
Yeah.
which is awesome.
And, like maybe this year what I've planned is Mata Riki is the Southern Star or something, isn't it? So I'm planning a South Indian gig, which has not happened.
Nice.
Okay.
You
So
never
Very
know.
cool. So
heaps more
yeah.
that we need to explore from you. I think this was an amazing session with you. For sure, our listeners who are watching or listening to this have got an insight of you. And now next time when you're out there and if you are yourself, I think they're going to be more...
Well, I hope it works that way.
I'm sure it'll work that way. And look, our audience has got so much to look forward to. So make sure you book your tickets for Arijit or
Yeah, that's-
Taranum
yeah.
and
Yeah, everyone.
Amit Tandon.
More important is, I want people, once we put up a show and say tickets are on sale, to go and buy.
yeah.
Rather than, not only Auckland, I think New Zealand has got that habit. Like, our people from our country have got that. We're kind of a bit laid back. We wait for the last minute.
Yeah.
And then on the last minute, we want good seats.
Yeah.
Yes.
How is that possible?
Yeah.
So then
Yeah.
the easier thing is, call up the event manager.
Event manager.
Yeah. Yeah.
Say, can I get VVIP seats? And I'm looking, there's 4 hours to the show and you want VVIP
Yeah.
tickets. That's wonderful.
So this is one thing that I always like, because I have been into event management, very small events, but the thing why I didn't pursue that further was that nervousness, last minute, ticket nahi ja raha hai, ticket is not going. And then
There's nothing much you can do, right?
But-
You've done all your
Yeah,
bits.
true.
So you have just as every work you do, say at your workplace, you do a checklist kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
I've got to do this, do this, do this. There are 8-10 points.
Yeah.
Like before you submit your project or whatever, you need to run through your thing.
Yeah.
Similarly, we also do, like, have I done my advertising? Have I done my promotions? Have I met my sponsors? Have I reached out to the people? End of the day, if your product is good, you'll have people coming there. If your product is... When I say product is like, how you have positioned yourself.
Yeah.
And you don't... And I generally don't like the idea of also you hitting people with spat of ads every day. That's not my
Yeah.
style.
More of pull marketing rather than
You
push.
talk to people, say, I'm doing this. This is something different
Word
than
of
a
mouth.
normal.
Yeah.
If he
Yeah.
or she is inclined,
They'll
they will
make it.
definitely come.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Well, it's been great chatting to you, Ram
Pleasure
Uncle.
has been all mine, and thank you for having me as your first guest. I hope this continues for long.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I hope you get better feedback for this one after it gets
Make sure you guys book your tickets for Arijit Singh. You heard that 50%'s already sold.
I think there's no point saying, because by the time this video is going to go out,
I think it'll be sold out.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
hoping. Thank you.
We should put a teaser, guys, of this so people know
I
now.
think I've got the headline for this
Yeah.
podcast. The podcast, The Rudest Man.
Hashtag.
You've been absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much. It was a
Thank
pleasure.
you.
And really look forward to having more conversations with
Yes.
you online and offline. And, just learn from you, because you've got so much experience that is going to be inspiring the generation that is upcoming and that wants to get into the area of art and
Yeah.
Oh,
culture.
absolutely. Because anyway, I'm in my last leg of my...
No, we
event
don't mean
management.
that.
We don't mean
No,
that.
I'm saying it because I've set myself 5 years or probably
Yeah.
less. Then
Yeah.
after that, the field is open. My contemporaries will be very happy about it. There you go.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thank
you.
you, guys.
Thank you for listening to Backstage Nonsense. Remember to check out A Cassette in My Walkman, a musical concert on 6th May, 6:30 p.m. at Dorothy Winston Center.